What up, y'all? This is Jamba here with another video. This is like my fourth video that I've recorded today. That might be a record. I usually do like two or three. But I saw the title and I guess I gotta delve into. I guess this is a body count conversation. I kind of wanted to avoid it, but here we are. It looked interesting. The woman in the video looks cute. So it is titled "Hold Up." She spitting facts question mark. Chick unleashes the gates of hell on men for their double standards regarding body count. Ugh. Ah, man. There's these videos that, sometimes they go viral of these men. They'll be on like in like Miami or the pier or something like that. And they'll be interviewing women talking about what's your body count? 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 And the women would be like, four. And then, there'll be a little caption that says you got times that by three. I mean, especially if you're a guy, you've heard all these like tropes and stuff before. So I'm not gonna get too into it. Is there some hypocrisy and double standards regarding body count? Yes, but I think there are on both sides. Let's see what she has to say. It's only 2 minutes and 30 seconds. I haven't seen any of this, so let's dive in.
Need an ad for your company? Use Veed because you can upload your own logo and your own font. Then you can add automatic.
Okay. So the new.
Hold on. So let's rewind. Let's get all the way from the top.
Okay. So the new one now for these men podcasts.
She talking about the podcast. Talking about them podcasts. Oh man, the male podcast. The rise of the pod. We're in the podcast era.
Their justifications of having a high volume body count.
She's talking about the men having a high volume body count, and the men on the podcast. Not going to say who these podcasts are. You probably know if you've been on YouTube for more than 5 minutes. But yeah, often in these podcasts, men would say that it's okay for a man, or they will even sometimes encourage a man to sleep with a high number of women. Now, what do I think? I'll give you my opinion on this later.
It's because women want an experienced man.
This is the main reason that I've heard. Do I disagree with this notion? Not necessarily. I think that this is an adjustment. I don't think it's ideal, but it's an adjustment of like this is men basically kind of adapting. But she might have a different take on this. Let's see. Let me just kind of play this all. I might play this all the way through, or at least most of the way through, and then I might have to kind of go back and break it down. I have a feeling this might be a longer one than I would like it to be.
My boy, you can have 1 million body counts and you still don't know what the clitoris is. Like, you still don't know what you're doing. You still don't know how to give a woman an orgasm. Just because she's moaning doesn't mean that she's enjoying it. You know what I'm saying? Like, esto no tiene justificación. Así que arranca.
Wait, where's the subtitles? You can't be saying all that but not have no subtitles in your video. So now she's getting to the minutia of this whole thing of like, men don't, know how to please a woman in X, Y, and Z. I will say, I might not even have to go back and rewatch this. I will say one thing that I believe that men who have a high number of women that they've slept with, not in every case, but in quite a lot of cases, I just believe that these men don't care to please a woman. So these men don't give a shit to please you. Like, it's just more so about them and their pleasure, and you're just a vehicle for that pleasure, and then they skedaddle out of that. You know what I'm saying? I don't. So I think that could be a main reason as to why she might. Because let's be honest, she is more than likely speaking from experience. So she's probably dealt with guys who she probably have know that these guys that she's dealing with have dealt with a lot of women, and then she has sex with these guys and they disappoint. But why? If you slept with all these women, then how are you not, why am I not getting what I need in the bed? Because they don't give a fuck. Now, the guy who gives a fuck, who really gives a fuck, he probably hasn't been with that many women. And you probably don't want to get with that guy. And partially it might be because he hasn't been with a lot of women, but also is probably just because you're not attracted to him. And because he's not attractive to you, he's probably not attractive to a whole lot of other women, hence why he's only been with a few women in his life. So it's like this weird. So that guy, the guy who's only been with like 4 women in his life and he's like 33. Oh yeah, he's gonna definitely try to find. He's gonna be looking. He's gonna be trying to find that clit like fucking Inspector Gadget with the with the magnifying glass. But you probably won't. You probably don't want to deal with that. So
Where you're used. Now, the craziest one to me was when this man told me that the reason why he had 20 bodies was because he was in a relationship with every single one of those individuals. The justification of men having a higher body count than women is always, well, because whenever the opportunity presents itself, then we're gonna take it. So women.
I don't agree with that. I think that comes from a place of just that comes from a lot of negative things. I think it comes from a place of scarcity. I think it comes from a place of like kind of hedonistic pleasure and all this other stuff. I mean, look, I know, look, I got friends who they got a body count higher than the Punisher. The people that especially those of you who I hoop with, this applies to some of y'all. I'm just gonna keep it a buck. Some of y'all got higher body counts than Jason Voorhees himself. As in, you can go and watch all of the Friday the 13th movies and count how many people Jason Voorhees has killed. My teammates fucked more women than that. That the list. Some of my teammates. I'm not trying to shit on these people. These are great people. Some of these people are married now. Some of these people are some of these dudes rather are, they're actually pretty, in my opinion, still good dudes, right? But I'm just kind of poking fun at them. But some of these dudes got higher body counts than John fucking Wick. Some of these people got higher body counts than fucking I can't see Hiroshima, but so point being is that I forgot where I was going with that shit. What was she saying before? I done lost my train of thought making these dumbass jokes.
If it presents itself, then we're gonna take it.
Oh yeah. If the opportunity presents itself, yeah, well, I mean, guys who are in that position, these are not men who want to be in a relationship. So if you're dealing with a man who doesn't want to be in a relationship, then yeah, if he wants that, then he's going to take it. And also, there's some guys who just take what they can get because acquiring women for most guys is pretty fucking difficult. So yeah, he's gonna take that out. A lot of guys are gonna take that opportunity. But I do think that as a man, at some point in time, and maybe it might come with age, you have to exhibit some form of sexual discipline to be, in order to be successful. Because otherwise, if you keep on taking these, oh well, I gotta get whatever I can get out here. Every woman that I can get with, I gotta go ahead and get with. You're gonna be driving a whole lot. You're gonna be wasting a lot of time. You're gonna be wasting a lot of money. You're gonna be wasting a lot of energy. You're gonna be dealing with women that you shouldn't be dealing with. You're gonna wind up in pregnancy scares and STD scares and get a girl pregnant. You're gonna wind up in a lot of fucked up situations. You're gonna like and stuff that's even deeper than that. So I think that as a man, especially as you get older, you have to limit the amount of not even just women, but the types of people that you kind of allow into your life. You can't just fuck with anybody just because you want to sleep with them. Like you gotta have a little bit of discernment as a man, especially if you're a man who got a modicum of success. I mean, we've seen what's happening with a lot of these. I was gonna say celebrities, but just yeah. So a man who is not out to land with this, a man who is not sexually disciplined is going to have a lot of problems in his life, or he's going to have a greater chance of having more problems than a guy who is more sexually disciplined.
So women are more accessible to sex than men. Bullshit. Ain't no fucking way that I have access to sex all the fucking time. Because
I wasn't even disagreeing with this woman until that moment, but maybe she has an explanation. Let me rewind here. This is an attractive girl, I will say. You know, Got nice eyebrows, nice eyes, nice hair.
Than men. Bullshit. Ain't no fucking way that I have access to sex all the fucking time. Because just because you want to fuck me, don't mean that I want to fuck you.
She don't know what access means then. For example, I got plenty of food. I shouldn't say plenty. I got food in my cabinet right now. Now, do I want to eat that food? No. But guess what? I still have access to food. So just because you don't want to eat the food, don't mean that you don't have access to it. She doesn't know. See, these are simple fucking terms. So she actually does have access to sex. She just doesn't want the sex that she's presented because she's not attracted to the men, which is her own prerogative. But you can't say that you don't have access to sex. Like you do have access to it. Just because you don't like the thing or just because you don't want it doesn't mean you don't have access to it. Because any of those dudes, if you wanted to, you could sleep with those dudes, hence you having access to the sex. Men do not, or most men, I should say, do not. They have to go out there and hunt for their food like fucking Elmer Fudd. And have you ever seen Elmer Fudd actually successfully hunt down the rabbit? Nope.
Like, no, we do not have access to sex all the time.
You do. I just broke it down. She does. Now, if you want to say that you don't have access to sin, excuse me, I said to sin, Freudian slip. You don't have access to men that you want to sleep with on a regular basis, then that would make more sense. But you do have access to sex, though.
It's so crazy, so crazy that women accept men exactly how they come.
Wait. What? Because she can't be. Okay, we're gonna rewind this.
All the time. It's so crazy, so crazy that women accept men exactly how they come.
More times than not, they do not. Exactly how they come? What does that even mean? Okay, let me not just call cap on her just yet. Let's just see what she means here.
With their defects and the been around the blockness. And
their defects? So what the fuck is an ick then? Their defects? So what the fuck is setting the preferences to 6 feet so that 90% of the guys that you swipe on don't even stand a chance? That you accept them for their defects? For real?
And all that bullshit.
If you're just simply talking about sexual experience, then yes. But if she's only talking about sexual experience as a quote unquote defect, she's also capping because if a man didn't have any sexual experience, a lot of y'all, I'm not saying her specifically, but a lot of women will see that as a defect. A lot of women would never want to be with a virgin guy. I was watching this video. It was on like Jubilee or one of them like weird, like kind of like popular channels. And they were shitting, and there was like 4 girls on one side and 4 guys on another, and one guy, and it was like a dating matchups. I don't even know what the premise of the video was, but a guy mentioned or said, "Yeah, I'm a virgin," and the girls were like, "Oh, get rid of the virgin." And the women were like unanimously like, "Yeah, get this virgin out of here." There's men don't, generally speaking, do that, and I'm not saying that most women are just hate virgins, but she's making it seem as though a man having a lot of sexual experience is a negative thing when it's actually the opposite. It's actually a man who doesn't have any sexual experience, a man who's never been with a woman, a man who doesn't know what he's doing. Y'all not going for that. Y'all, a lot of women would rather be with a man who's been with 100 women than a man who's been with 0 women. Even guys will tell you, the more women that I sleep with, the more women I sleep with. And the guys who don't have no women around, it's a long dry spells for those guys, right? So this is a lot of cap, and this whole notion of her accepting men for who they are, more times than not, that's not true. I have a person in my family who just got into a relationship, and And I've joked about her on this, so this is not something that if she's watching this, she would think, "Oh wow, like why would you say that?" But if she's with this very, and I'm not shitting on it, she's with a very successful man, my family member. Um, but if he just came to the table and he was a successful McDonald's burger flipper, she wouldn't be dating this dude. I'm not even gonna say what he does for a living. He makes a very good living, and I'm proud of my relative for for having this new relationship, and I hope they can go somewhere. But we just got to keep this a motherfucking buck. Let's continue. This video might be a little too real. Shit.
And accept men exactly how they come, with their defects and the been around the blockness and all that bullshit. We accept you.
We can't even cry in front of y'all. And I've had a situation where a woman told me, "You can cry in front of me." I cried in front of her. She said, "I'm unattracted to you now." And this is not a unique story whatsoever the fuck ever. So men, we often feel like in order for us to get y'all, we have to be not perfect, but close to perfect in some ways. And when I'm saying perfect, I'm not talking about giving you flowers and being like, I'm talking about like perfect as in like just being confident 24/7, being ultra charismatic 24/7, being on point. It's dealing with y'all like it's just different, especially for some guys. Now there's some dudes who are so attractive that they can just kind of be broke or be a piece of shit and y'all will still fuck with them because he's like that guy to y'all. But I'm talking about for us like normal people, it's a kind of a different story, you know. Um let's finish this thing.
You guys exactly how you are, and you can have one defect, one flaw, not defect, one flaw, and it's like you're not good enough.
She's projecting. I think she's projecting. Guys put up with most guys accept y'all despite how many flaws y'all have, despite the depression, despite the attitude, despite maybe you're not looking a certain way that we want, despite you wear a lot of makeup and when you take it off you look like I don't know, like you look differently without the makeup, despite you know the partners that you've had, despite so much. We men, your average guy overlooks a lot. And I think we overlook a lot because we actually really like women. Despite the stuff that you may hear on these podcasts and despite the stuff that you might see in the comment section, men actually do really genuinely like women. And the way that we know that is because a man will accept a woman when she doesn't have anything to her name, but rarely will a woman accept a man if he doesn't have anything to his name. I'm not even saying that this is something that is wrong. I think this is something that is this natural. This is part of evolution. Blah 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 blah. Men got to provide, and women. I understand why this is the case. I'm not saying that shouldn't be the case for women, but I'm just saying that as far as what she's talking about, this is just a cap sandwich, a complete cap sandwich.
Meanwhile, you've been around the block more than me. People have.
But you like that about him. You like the fact that he fucked your homegirl and she talked about how good it was. You couldn't wait. You couldn't wait to get on the D-Real Express. You couldn't. I've even my goofy ass. I've dated girls. I've dated one girl and dealt with her, and then a few years later dealt with another girl who I later found out was her cousin. And I was like, and when I found out, I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that she was this cousin of this girl I used to date. And then the second girl said, it's fine. Me and her talked about it, and it's totally fine. And I think that one of the main reasons we actually dated was because I dealt with her fucking cousin. Guys will tell you this is the case. This is the case. So, I would love for this if me and her ever got on like a stream and we were like, having the conversation, not just because she's attractive, but I would love to have a conversation with this woman. Not to argue, but just to figure out what's going on in that head of hers.
Like swept the street with you.
Wait,
You know what I'm saying? On the block more than me, and it's like you're not good enough. Meanwhile, you've been around the block more than me. You people have like swept the street with you.
there are women who, ladies, if I'm not talking about you, I'm not talking about you. If I'm not talking about your friends, I'm not talking about your friends. Then cool. But I think there are some women out there that, from what I've seen, that treat men and treat their performance in bed like a Yelp review. And if their homegirls dealt with you and they give a good review, some women really like that. Because some women don't want to waste their time with D that hasn't been pre-approved. If I'm lying, let me know.
You know what I'm saying? But one defect that is almost probably similar like yours, it's like no. So you're the only one that could be dirty, but us and we gotta take you how you are. I don't. I think just because I go to the supermarket and have access to a pile of apples doesn't mean that I want every single
You see how she just contradicted herself? Watch the contradiction. This is in the same video.
access to a pile of
This is what she
just
said.
because I go to the supermarket and have access
Access.
to a pile of apples doesn't mean that I want every single one of those apples.
Right, but then what did she say here? What did she say earlier?
Well, because whenever the opportunity presents itself, then we're gonna take it. So women are more accessible to sex than men. Bullshit. Ain't no fucking way that I have access to sex all the fucking time.
Ain't no fucking way I have access to sex all the time. And then what did she say here?
To a pile of apples
Hold on.
doesn't mean supermarket and have access to a pile of apples.
She has access to the apples, but then earlier she said she didn't have access to the sex, even though she's relating sex to apples. You can't make this up. This is simple. In less than 2 minutes, she contradicted herself. But anyways, let me not, like, because sometimes, I mean, look, maybe I contradict myself in one of these videos. So, that's just a fault of just being human. So let me just give her some grace. But let's wrap this up.
Doesn't mean that I want every single one of those apples. I just want a specific apple.
You just want that really good apple, the you want that 6'3" apple with the tatted apple with the nice, like nice looking, and I know what apple you want. The apple that that all the other women in the barrio didn't already tasted.
From the pile. Not every single one of them. I have access to all of them. Don't mean
She said it again.
that I want every single apple there because I have access to every single fucking apple.
Now, let's see what the comments said about this video. Let's see. Who hurt her? Anyways, I didn't want to get into the comments, but yeah, like I said a lot in this video. I'm gonna keep this a little brief. But do I think that having a high body count for men is okay? Generally speaking, I would say no. I think that if you're a man who eventually wants to be in a committed relationship, I don't think that it's necessarily a positive thing. Do I think that it's necessary for you to be in a relationship with some women? I would certainly say yes, because unfortunately, well, a lot of women have had a lot of experience, and in order for you as a man to match that and be able to keep her engaged sexually, you would also need to have a high level, or maybe even a higher level of experience as well. So that's the unfortunate part, is that both sides of the equation, men and women, are kind of engaging in like a fuck off. And in the fuck off, the women are more times than not going to always, or more times not, they're going to outdo the average man in the fuck off. But there are some men, those dudes, who can even outfuck the women because of how many women that they have access to. So it's just like this weird, like, hedonistic Olympics where most people are going to wind up getting a big fat L in. So that's the video. Let's keep this under 25 minutes. Like, subscribe. This is Jamba, and we'll be back with another video real soon.